welcome to Push on Repair. Today we're going to be showing you how to repair a zip starter on an old 80 series Victa 2-stroke mower. The tools you'll need for this video are a Phillips head screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and some form of cutters to cut your start cord if required. Here we have an 80 series Victa mower Mark IV with the zip starter. So first we're going to remove the starter. So if we have a look here, the handles come right off. The cord's all frayed and weak, so we're going to replace the cord and show you how the starter works. It's pretty simple to get it off. There's just 3 Phillips head screws. Remove the fuel cap. There we go, the engine's exposed. I've got the starter here. Okay, so the first step to removing it, if you look up here, there's a Phillips head screw in the middle. We're going to remove that. You can see it's trying to spin around a little bit. This is because there's still some tension left. There would be a lot of tension here if your cord hadn't snapped. So remove that long screw. Underneath is a small spring. Be careful not to lose that. And we can pull off the engaging pole. Here it's got a spring on this end, also a spring on that end. That's what it should look like. Underneath that are some spacer washers. I've got a plastic spacer and a metal with a square insert. Now we can gently lift and wiggle the starter housing off. So there we go. The aluminium housing's removed. You can see our snapped frayed cable. Underneath that you can see the starter spring. In this case you can see this one's in great condition. It's shiny, doesn't look rusted. See that hook there? So that's what hooks onto the starter housing. And then this hook holds it in place. So they're the important things to check. You can grease this if you're finding your starter is a little worn and not retracting as well as it should, and when you grease it, you should grease this side of the starter pulley. Okay, now we're going to begin the assembly. First step is to get some new fresh start cord, as we have here. So we're going to get it. We're going to get our old starter handle that we've taken the cord out of. We're going to run our start cord through the hole in the base, in the cowling, and then through the starter handle. I'm going to tie 2 knots. You want to make sure they're close to the end of the cord, like that, and you're going to need approximately 1.5 meters of cord. There we have a good double knot, which will securely fit in the end of the cord. Get the other end. You can see on this plate, this is where the start cord goes through. We don't want to put it through like that because then we'll be stuck. So you got to go in the side and then down through that little hole. Once you have it in the side, through the hole, flip it over, and then we're going to tie a knot in this end of the cord. Just 1 knot should suffice. We'll pull that in. Okay, now we need to determine the direction to wind the cord, because if we wind it the wrong way, it will rotate the wrong way. So if we look at the bottom of this catch, you see the catch goes that way, and as it goes that way it pulls the starter. So we want it to rotate in this direction. So when we pull the cord, that'll rotate that way, so we wrap it this way, anti-clockwise. Once you've wrapped it so it fits in the spool, you can put the spool back down gently. It's a good idea if you line this clip up roughly with where it needs to be. So my clip's here, I'm going to line it up like that. Pull any excess cord out of the way. Here is a hole where you can get your screwdriver in, move the spring out of the way. I would rotate it backwards a fraction, and then forwards, and then you can pull your cord, and if you've done it correctly, it will retension. So in this case, you can see I've currently got a little bit too much cord. So in order to solve that, we can wind it up one more time to provide some more tension. So we move the notch here, we get the start cord, with a flathead screwdriver we lever it up and pull in that excess cord that we've got. We then, with the cord in the notch and the old cord held to the side as much as possible, we spin it round one more time anti-clockwise. Until we're at the notch, and then we can grab the handle, pull the cord back in. And now we can see the cord has returned all the way almost. And if there's just this little bit, you pull out your knot and you cut off the end and make a knot a little bit further down. Now for reassembly, we just put the parts back in the same order they came out. So we have our square washer, which goes in like this. Have our plastic spacer. We have our starter pawls and the square spacer. So we put the pawl down, and then the square spacer, and then we put our little spring on top of that. We get our screw and cover. Nip that up nice and tight, and then we have a working pull cord. Then it's as simple as putting the starter back on by putting the cowling on top of the mower. You feel it clip into place, and then you just put the 3 screws in. And don't forget your fuel cap.